Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for being here today, and I hope everybody, after this is over, enjoys the ice cream and the Coke floats and the beautiful weather we have outside. Today we have yet another historic announcement. Seems like in the Justice Administration we get to do this quite often. I've been around Charleston for a long time, and I've seen a lot of Democrat administrations come and go and Republican administrations come and go, but never seen a time like this. It's really a blessing to be part of it. Today, we're cutting taxes left and right. As a matter of fact, yesterday was the last day for the pop tax, that we no longer have to pay that. So it's just a phenomenal time. But 70 years, they say there's nothing harder to cut than a government program. I think there is one thing harder. That's to cut a tax and eliminate a tax. A lot to celebrate there. But even though we're cutting taxes, we're having so much growth that we continue to have large budget surpluses. We just announced this morning we have a budget surplus for the last fiscal year of $826 million. It is indeed a rocket ship ride. It's a time like no other. Again, a lot to be proud of. And it's taken a lot of people to get us to this point. Governor Justice reminds us in the office and his administration every day what and who's important. He likes to refer to them, call them Toby and Edith. But it's the West Virginia taxpayer. It's the West Virginia citizen. They're the ones that pay all the taxes. They're the one that pays all the fees. They're the ones that allow us to get up and brag about the surpluses, about the taxes we bring in, and they're also the one that allows us to provide the services that we provide. He wants us to remember that, and that's the perspective that he brings in. We've asked our communication team, our in-house, to prepare an in-house video of just some of the things that have happened over the last 7.5 years during the Justice Administration. Please enjoy the video.
50th forevermore. We are such in the hole that we got to quit digging. You're faced with a $500 million hole in the bucket. Let's don't just try to figure out how to just get by. Let's cannonball right in the middle of the pool. We can do this. We absolutely can do it.
A lot of people for weeks thought this vote might be very close. In the end, it was an absolute blowout, with most, if not all, of the votes counted.
Governor Jim Justice has long predicted this program will generate 48,000 new jobs over the next 10 years.
The absolute most historic vote in the state of West Virginia, hands down. And this will be our starting point.
Governor Jim Justice even breaking out the lays.
They announced the state has seen a 6% increase in tax revenue from income tax, and it comes with 10 straight months of economic growth.
You know that a few months ago, it hit where West Virginia, on a per capita basis, is one of the most successful GDP states in our union. So we went from being down and out to one of the most successful in the union.
We know how good this place really is. But people on the outside are beginning now to know how good this place really is. There's roads that are being built that we'll reap the harvest for many, many decades to come. Tourism in this state has now exploded, and all of a sudden we have an entirely different ad campaign. We've put the emphasis that we need to invest in education and let it be one of the centerpieces, if not the centerpiece, to driving our economy.
I've told people over and over and over, once the goodness starts, we won't even be able to stop it.
West Virginia's governor was impressed with what he saw at the Newport steel mill construction site this afternoon. Even though the massive Mason County project, slated to become fully operational in 2027, is less than 10% complete.
You cannot possibly imagine, nor can I, what this will absolutely do to this whole area. It will be transformational in every single way.
And the Christine West Bridge, locally dubbed the Bridge to Nowhere, officially opens late this afternoon.
Ground has now officially been broken toward a $63 million complete water system upgrade for the city of Lewisburg.
Well, a brand new scenic route has been unveiled in the mountains of West Virginia. It's called Cranberry Corridor.
Governor Jim Justice signed into law this afternoon the largest tax cut in West Virginia history.
We're on a pathway now in West Virginia to totally eliminate our personal income tax. There's so much goodness going on in West Virginia, and all I got to say is just what I've said so many times. Look at where we're located. Businesses are moving to West Virginia like crazy. Look at where we're located. Look at our 4 incredible seasons. Look at the people of West Virginia and their values. They never believed in West Virginia. They never believed in West Virginia. And so from that standpoint, Baby Dog tells Bette Midler and all those out there, kiss her honey.
If we continue in West Virginia, I'm not going to be your governor long, but if we continue in West Virginia on the pathway that we're on right now, the stars are the limit.
Let's cannonball right in the middle of the pool. We can do this.
As I said earlier, there's absolutely nothing like the run that Governor Justice's administration in West Virginia has experienced over the last 7 years. Governor Justice, he gives us hope, and he makes us laugh. It's fun to work with him. He tells us to be proud of himself, to be proud of ourselves. Tells us to dream big and believe in ourselves, believe in West Virginia. That's what Governor Justice tells us every day. Please welcome the best governor in the history of West Virginia, the only governor who can claim to be a billion-dollar tax cutter, the 36th governor of the great state of West Virginia, as he delivers his final fiscal year end report. Please welcome Governor Jim Justice.
Well, I can't see all of you. And in a lot of ways, that's good. Good. No, I'm just teasing. Let me just say this. From an economic standpoint and lots of other things, I really believe this. I believe this with all my soul. I believe that West Virginia has been blessed with a miracle from God. And I mean that. Now, I may not be many things, but I'm a business guy. And I can really read a set of books. And with all in me, if you had seen what I had seen on day one, you would know without any question that I'm right. I'm right about the miracle that touched every last one of us. We were all used in the miracle to make it absolutely what it is. That's what God does. He uses us. He uses us to absolutely make things happen all across the globe all the time. So I give him credit. I give him credit for all these successes. Absolutely, we would all like to take a bunch of the credit, but in my life, I give him credit because he deserves that. With all in us, we should celebrate today beyond belief. Now, I want to tell you one other story real quick. There was a guy I met a long time ago. His name was J.W. Davis. When I met Mr. Davis was probably approaching 80 years of age. I think at one time he was the chairman of Dr. Pepper in this country. But I know that he owned the Dr. Pepper plant in Roanoke. He was instrumental in Frito-Lay coming to the United States, Moore's Lumber, a lot of different things. He used to say just this. He said over and over, he had meetings with all of his marketing and sales people, and he would have them real early in the morning. Those meetings would be at like 6:15 in the morning, he would say. And he had one thing, one positive thing that he said he never let happen in a negative way. He said, I would never let someone leave.
that meeting that I couldn't make smile. You see, God gave us the ability to smile and to laugh. And this journey is plenty tough enough. That's all there is to it. So in many ways, my little buddy that's going to come right now, and y'all send her out here, please. Come on, baby. Just take your time. All right, Joey, get up here, baby. Come on. She was real proud of her ancestor in the mural, too. See, along the way, by just happenstance, she made you smile, didn't she? And absolutely, with all in me, she gave me a message that was unbelievable. And that was this, because she loves everybody, and she wasn't supposed to do that. She's a bulldog. You know, with all that being said, you know, if you could make others smile and you loved everybody, how could absolutely the message be any simpler than just that? So, with all that being said, today's my last revenue report to you. We've got another surplus of numbers that are unflat believable in every way. $826 million. Now just think about it. In all honesty, on day one, if we would have had $82,060, it would have been an absolute blessing. And today, with the tax cuts that we have in place and all that has been done, another $826 million. Now, if you don't believe that that's a miracle from God above, you got something wrong with you. That's what I believe. But there's more that we can do. You know, absolutely right now, I think yesterday is the last day ever of the pop tax in West Virginia. And you should really clap now. "70 years, one of only 2 states left. And now I guess it's just Arkansas. With all that being said, thank goodness it's gone. If I'm correct in what I would tell you, I think since I walked in the door, we have cut taxes now 26 times, 25 times. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's unbelievable. Cut taxes in excess of $1 billion. Are you kidding me? And I want to just read. I don't generally read hardly anything, but I've got to just read this real quick. Just imagine this. Imagine in this short tenure, $20 billion in economic development, primarily people like Nucor and Berkshire Hathaway and Commercial Metals, $13 billion in total infrastructure, $2.8 billion in roads to prosperity, $400 million for secondary roads, $1 billion for our schools, $250 million for our state parks. And all of us have made that happen. All of us. We pulled the rope together. We pulled it off. And honest to God, now we're cooking. I would tell you just this. You are triggering right now to an additional 3 or 4, we don't know which one it will be exactly, 3 or 4% additional reduction in your state income tax. That's a celebration like we should celebrate till the cows come home. But I want to do one other thing. And I'm going to call you back in for the legislators that are here. I'm going to call you back in either August or September, And I'm going to challenge you in every way to find some way, somehow, if it can be done, and still minding the store in absolutely the most prudent way we possibly can, but for God's sakes a living, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You remember what I said in the first State of the State address. We can do it now. We can cannonball in the pool right now. Every single day, we minded the store the right way, but we weren't afraid. You know, I think Larry Pack said to you something along the lines of, and this is the thing that I couldn't be more proud of. I really, really did restore some level of hope. And I did make you laugh. And I absolutely made you proud of who you are. And I absolutely asked you to dream as big as you could possibly dream. And then I asked you to believe. Absolutely, and you did it. And before you know it, off we went. So I want to call you back. And I want to challenge you to some way, somehow, try to do an additional 5% on the personal income tax. It'll be tough, but there's a way to do it. And all of us can work together and try to figure out how to do it and how to do it now. It's not our money. It's the people's money. And if there's a way to do it and put more money back into people's pockets, you know what will happen? They'll spend it here. And the multiplier effects on those dollars will absolutely make us better. But on top of all that, you know what will happen? If we can get rid of our state income tax, and you can't get rid of it sitting around scared to death all the time. Mind the store properly. But for God's sakes a living, don't be afraid. Dare to be first. And with all that being said, nothing will drive population growth and goodness to this state any more than getting rid of our personal income tax. The other thing I'm going to ask you to do when I call you back in is address child care. Address absolutely, first and foremost, pass, please, for God's sakes a living, pass my child care tax credit. It was $4.2 million. It's next to nothing. But do you not understand that really and truly what we need in this state now is young people? We need people with young families that go to our schools and all that stuff. But not only that, we got to have workers. We have to have workers. The two ways that I would tell you today that can drive more and more and more goodness to West Virginia is lower the personal income tax as much as you possibly can, and absolutely some way address this dilemma of child care. We've got to keep our child care organizations going, and we absolutely need tax credits going to our families that are, in all honesty, paying out the yin-yang today to try to be able to have child care. So, this is my last. $826 million. Do with it the right things. One of the things that you can absolutely look at is just this. We have an income tax reserve fund that basically protects us, do we not? It's $400 million today. For God's sakes living, if you're afraid, do this. Calculate what that 5% of additional reduction in income tax would cost and take double of that from the surplus and put it in the income tax reserve fund. It'll protect you for at least 2 years, and for God's sakes of living, surely we're not going to run right off the tracks in the next 2 years that some way, somehow, we can stabilize ourselves and keep ourselves going. West Virginia's really doing it. And we're really, really, really proud, all of us. And we all should be. Now, I want to do one last thing. I want all of our legislatures to come up here with me, and all of us share together and absolutely cut this ribbon. And absolutely, we're going to cut the ribbon to all kinds of goodness happening and everything. But come on up here, because you all are a big part of it, and I'm really proud of each and every one of you.